Good evening and welcome to Richmond Public Schools School Board meeting. Today is Monday, March 29th, 2021. I now call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk?
Good evening. This meeting is being held as an electronic meeting pursuant to and in compliance with Richmond City Council's Ordinance Number 2020-093, adopted April 9th, 2020, and extended by Ordinance Number 2020-183, adopted August 20th, 2020, and by Ordinance Number 2020-232, adopted December the 14th, 2020, and the school board's resolution approved on April 20th, 2020. Simultaneous translation is being provided tonight in Spanish via Zoom, and the meeting notice contained information on how individuals needing translation services could obtain the service. The meeting notice also stated that the meeting would be a virtual meeting and will be live streamed for the public on the school division's Facebook page, and the link was provided. Also, however, there are no public comments tonight. The agenda of the meeting was posted on board docs, and after the roll call, we will state how many board members are participating in the roll call. Mrs. Dorr?
Yes.
Ms. White?
Present.
Ms. Kenya Gibson? Mr. Jonathan Young?
Present.
Mrs. Rizzi?
Here.
Dr. Harris Muhammad?
Present.
Mrs. Cheryl Burke?
Present.
Mrs. Dawn Page?
Present.
And Ms. Nicole Jones. Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you so very much, Madam Clerk. And again, thank you all so much for being here this evening during this call meeting. We have a couple of items that are timely, and we're going to move into that right now. And this is a reminder for those who are listening to be mindful that we do not have our meeting on April 5th due to spring break. The next meeting will take place on April 12th at 6 p.m. At this time, adoption of the agenda. May I get a motion, please? Dr. Harris Muhammad, would you be so kind?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I move that we adopt the agenda for our special meeting, March 29th, 2021, as printed.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Dr. Harris Muhammad, motion. Ms. Page, second. Is there any discussion or questions? If not, Madam Clerk, we're ready for the vote.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Dorr? Hello, Mrs. Dorr?
Yes.
Mrs. White?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
All right.
Ms. Rizzi?
Yes.
Dr. Harris Muhammad?
Yes.
Ms. Burke?
Yes.
And Mrs. Page?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you so very much. Board action items tonight. Number one, receive for action the personnel actions. Ms. Lee?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone. The Talent Office brings forth the following personnel actions for your consideration. The nomination of 6 employees, the change of contract of 8 employees, the resignation of 2 employees, the returning from leave of 4 employees, and the retirement of 1 employee.
Are there any questions before we move on with the motion?
Dr. Harris Muhammad.
Dr. Harris Muhammad, the floor is yours.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Do we have any reason to go into close with our personnel actions this evening?
None tonight.
Then I would like to make a motion.
All right.
I move that we accept the human resources personnel actions as presented to us.
Thank you, Dr. Harris Muhammad. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Page. It's been moved by Ms. Dr. Harris Muhammad and seconded by Mrs. Page to accept the personnel report as listed. Are we ready to vote? Question? Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry.
Yes.
If I may, just wanted to take a moment to congratulate Dr. Eileen Atkinson on her tenure in Richmond Public Schools, to include at Patrick Henry. I had the good fortune to work with Dr. Atkinson for my time on the board and even before that, and I really cannot adequately convey my gratitude to her, nor can I say enough complimentary things about what who she is and what she did at Patrick Henry. I told her this the other day, but I really do believe that absent her leadership, that school would certainly not be what it is now, which is just a stellar example of what can be done when the community comes together, and it perhaps wouldn't even be here today absent Dr. A, as the students call her over there. So I just want to take a moment to say thanks, and she will certainly be missed. She left some big shoes to fill, but just want to thank her for all that she did.
Thank you, Mr. Young. We're ready for the vote. Madam Clerk?
Mrs. Dorr,
Yes.
Mrs. White,
Yes.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mrs. Rizzi,
Yes.
Dr. Harris Mohammed,
Yes.
Mrs. Cheryl Burke,
Yes.
Mrs. Page,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you so very much. As we move on to the next item on the agenda. Excuse me, I'm working not from home. So I have several gadgets going on here. All right, number 2.02, receive for action amendment to the Facilitated Learning Centers MOU to increase capacity to 125 students. Ms. Hadasco, is that you?
Madam-
Mr. Cameron?
Yes.
All right.
Madam Chair, I'll take that one. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for making some time this evening to address some of these time-sensitive issues. We really appreciate it. This item is in reference to our existing memorandum of understanding with our facilitated learning center providers. Our original MOU capped attendance at 100 students per site. As we talked about a couple of meetings ago, we are hoping to expand where possible to 125 students per site. And so we are asking for the board to take action to amend the MOU to increase the capacity to 125 students per site.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Cameron. And as you all remember from our last meeting, we had a full report on that, but we didn't take action. So this is our opportunity now to have that discussion and to take action. We can either move on with the motion or we can ask Mr. Cameron any questions. What's your pleasure? Dr. Shonda Harris, excuse me. Dr. Shonda Harris Mohammed, please forgive me.
I do. That's okay. Yes. Well, let me make sure I word the motion correctly to include the number, and this will begin immediately, correct, Mr. Cameron?
We would implement it starting April 12th, right after spring break.
I move that we accept the recommendation presented by the superintendent to increase the learning centers from 100 to 125 to begin April the 12th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Dr. Harris Mohammed made the motion. Ms. Page seconded to increase the number in each center up to 125 for Richmond Public Schools. Any discussion, questions? If not, we're ready to vote.
Mrs.
Madam
Dorr,
Clerk?
oh, I'm sorry, Mrs.
Go
Dorr,
right.
Yes.
Mrs. White,
Yes.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mrs. Rizzi,
Yes.
Dr. Harris Mohammed,
Yes.
Mrs. Cheryl Burke,
Yes.
and Mrs. Page.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. As we all know, our children will be those who have been asked to be a part of the opening, to give them the services so needed face-to-face. That will start on April the 12th. And we will also have a brief report that evening at our meeting on April the 12th. But colleagues, and please, Madam Clerk, put this in your minutes, that because the school day does not end until after 3, therefore you will not be able to get a full report on what took place during the day, because it will be the first day. But Mr. Cameron will be presenting whatever feedback he has in regards to what took place on that first day of returning to school. Any questions regarding that? All right, do we have any announcements before going up for adjournment? Ms. Liz Dewar?
Hi, thank you,
Hi.
Madam Chair. Excuse me. I would like to request that we add as a board action item at our next meeting, a proposed changes to our meetings to make sure that we end our meetings at a reasonable hour. So I will be sending this around to my board colleagues, but I wanted to just put in this request in a preview tonight. The 5 things that I think we can do, and open to others' feedback, if you'd like to email me directly, are 1, public information, that we follow City Council and surrounding district best practices to public comment. All public comments are entered into the public record. We allow 30 minutes for general comments that are unrelated to current board business and 30 minutes for items specifically related to board business. We tabulate responses, yes or no, for specific board action items. 2, comment submission. Instead of an email to speakers@rvaspeakers.net, we enable to submit public comments via an online survey so that we can capture name and an option to add their address, their email address and district, to make it easy for the administration to tabulate responses and board members to follow up with commenters. 3, we establish a norm of ending our meetings at 10 p.m. In order to facilitate on-time ending, we reestablish the practice of posting the agenda with the proposed start and end time for each item. 4, presentations. We receive presentations on Wednesday when the agenda is posted, and we ask that the administration shorten their presentation time to an executive summary, thereby maximizing the time for board questions and discussions. And 5, consent agenda. We return the practice of including a consent agenda to include items that do not likely require public debate, like district activity requests. Of course, if board members would like to remove items from the consent agenda for discussion, they would be free to do so by proper board protocols. So anyways, these ideas are not mine. They are all ideas that you board members have stated at one time or another. I just consolidated what I've heard and read over the past couple of months. And thought we could discuss and take action on it next.
Thank you, Ms. Dewar. We will add that to the agenda. Thank you for bringing that up now. So as we prepare for our next meeting on April 12th, which we already have, but there's always this time for us to go back and address that. So thank you for doing that now. And if you'd be so kind to list that and state that, put it in writing so we all can see that. And maybe we can also post that on our board docs as well under that discussion item. Is there any other business, any other announcements? If not.
Dr. Harris Mohammed.
All right, Dr. Harris Mohammed.
Yes, ma'am. I just want to thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to take a moment to thank the Woodville Elementary School family, Miss LaQuia Carter. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, Miss Carter, but she invited me to do a video for the virtual career day. I hope the kids enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed it. So I wanted to send a shout out to her for even asking me to do that and allowing me to participate. So thank you very much. Woodville Elementary School rocks, as you already know, Ms. Burke.
Yes, and thank you so much. I too participated in that. A pretty busy week with our students across the city of Richmond, and it was a lot of fun. But Woodville Elementary as well, I did do my video. It took me a while to do it, but I did do it, and it was fun. And a couple of other items I have to look through my notes. We have some great programs that we're going to announce probably at our April 12th meeting on including a STEM program that will take place during the holiday at a couple of our schools. A lot's going on, so I guess I need to make a list to make sure I don't leave anybody out. But thank all of you, our listeners, our parents, everyone that's been so supportive. We also had, it's a lot. I need to put it all in writing to make sure that we have everything listed and documented. Please have a good holiday, whatever your holiday is. Please take some time for yourselves. And I look forward to seeing all of you virtually on April the 12th at 6 o'clock. And one day soon and very soon, we'll be back together face to face. So if there isn't anything else, yes, Mr.
Madam
Campbell.
Chair, I believe Board Member Rizzi wanted to make an announcement.
Yes, I see that. Ms. Rizzi? The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Cameras, and thank you, Chair Burke. I wanted to just shout out John B. Carey. I attended, they actually had an event last Wednesday. They invited First Lady Pam Northam. They are working on making their school a green campus, and First Lady Northam has been very instrumental in working with them. And so I met with the 4th and 5th graders who asked her some phenomenal questions about her role as First Lady, and also about her support of the school, and about their becoming this wonderful green campus. And so I just wanted to shout them out and thank them for inviting me to such a wonderful event.
Thank you, Ms. Rizzi. I saw you all with your hearts. I saw that on the, I think it was during Mr. Cameras's RPS Direct, but well done. Is there anything else? Great announcements, great announcements, great announcements. If not, go in peace. I'll see you April the 12th. Oh, and Don Page said, be safe, everybody.